But moving on, in lieu of Jake, it is Jake's fun game of the week, so we will not have a fun game this week. But without that, we are going to have the first ever inaugural session of Austin and Hunter's way too early mock draft of madness.
Yeah.
So just to preface this, Super Bowl hasn't even happened yet. Like, Senior Bowl is happening, but like no combine, none of that. So none of this is going to be accurate, really.
Yeah.
Like, all these dudes who are here in these mocks aren't going to be here. People are going to jump up. People are going to jump down. But
Yeah.
this is just for funsies, what we're thinking right now. So do you want to? We did 5 rounds, I think. Because even once you get past like 3 right now, honestly, I don't know any of these people. So, yeah, why don't you say what you got here? I know you wanted Jordan Davis real bad.
Yeah. I really want Jordan Davis, but I don't even think the Bills would take him if he was there, to be honest, because we have other needs. I think our biggest needs are edge and corner. And we always take a defensive end. We've taken a defensive end in the first 2 rounds the past 2 years, like 3 times.
Doing a little more looking into Jordan Davis, I don't know that he's going to be good in the NFL. I think he might just be a big body.
He's just like, his pass rushing is not all that great, and he got taken out a lot in college during passing downs.
I think
he's huge. Big. He's huge. And the Bills need a guy like that because we get ran on by physical teams. But
I don't know. I think I'd rather have the other guy, Devontae Wyatt or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he looks a little more well-rounded.
But then again, with him, like, he was probably Jordan Davis has taken on like 3 dudes, so Wyatt can just get in there. So I don't know. But what'd you come up with here?
So at the 25 spot, I took Jermaine Johnson, who I've seen some footage of him from the Senior Bowl, like maybe yesterday or today, and he just absolutely was running over these offensive tackles, like huge, big ass offensive tackles, just flatlining them, like pancaking them on the ground. And he just looks so aggressive and violent. And then I watched like a couple of his highlights and stuff. He looks like, he kind of reminds me of like a Frank Clark type. That's just like, he's going to get a couple sacks in a game. Like, if we were up big and the other team had to pass, like, I'd like to have a guy like that with a high motor who could get in there and get a couple sacks and fuck up the other team when they're trying to come back. But another thing about him, I'm pretty sure he was on Last Chance U, because he was in JUCO, and I read some stuff that he was on one of those teams where they have the Netflix documentary. But yeah, I think he would be cool. He's 6'5", 265. I think it'd be cool to get another guy opposite of Greg Rousseau, because Jerry Hughes is getting old as fuck. And we got no pass rush against the Chiefs. Mahomes was running all around, doing whatever the fuck he wanted. So it's like the guys that we have aren't really doing too much besides Greg Rousseau. So Jermaine Johnson, number 1. Second round, I took Kobe Bryant. And we're not talking about the deceased version. I'm talking about Cincinnati cornerback Kobe Bryant. And I know like Ahmad Gardner gets a lot of hype, but I think
Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner. I think Kobe Bryant is a big reason why. Like, I think he funneled a lot of balls towards Gardner and helped him get picks. And then I think Gardner funneled a lot of balls towards Kobe, and Kobe made a lot of plays and got a lot of picks, has pretty good ball skills. And he just has like sticky coverage. Like, I like guys that are just plastered all over in like man coverage and are good boundary. Like, the Bills need another boundary corner, because when Trey White went down, we have like 2 or 3 really good slot corners, but we got no one. Like, you put Levi Wallace out there, he's getting cooked. Fucking Dane Jackson got shit on a lot against the Chiefs. Like, he could not come up and make tackles. He was getting ran over. Like, we need a physical guy like Kobe Bryant. So got him in the second round. I think that's a little bit of a reach. In the third, I snagged John Mechie, and I don't even know. I think he should be like a first-round pick, honestly. Like, I really like Mechie.
This is why I preface this whole thing with, this is all going to be different because
Yeah.
even though Mechie was injured, I guarantee he goes first or second round.
No
There's
matter what
no way.
if I use PFF or this thing, he's always available in the third
Yeah,
round, and it blows
no,
my
for me
mind.
too. There are just guys that I've stopped taking. Like I won't take him there. Like I would like Jordan Davis too in the second
Yeah,
round for the Jags. He's there sometimes, but I just haven't been because
it's not realistic. But I
yeah,
think there is a chance that he's there. If he's not there, I would take if like George Pickens or Justin Ross was there, I would take them vice versa too. I just want like a younger guy because Diggs is getting older. We got Gabe Dave locked down. Beasley's old. We might get rid of him. Like we need another wide receiver to kind of step in there. And like we just need this edge rusher, this cornerback, this wide receiver, because we're going to be passing a lot. We just got Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey is like credited with helping Josh Allen in all this passing attack shit. And when he was an OC at the University of Miami, he was pass crazy. We just got Joe Brady as our passing coordinator. So we're going to be airing it out. Other teams are going to have to air it out to come back. We need the edge rush, the cornerbacks, the wide receivers. And then in the fourth round, I took Cade Mays, who I think is going to be like this year's Landon Dickerson or like Creed Humphrey type, like just a gigantic hoss, like pretty solid fundamentals. Like I think he honestly might not be there in the fourth, but if he is, I would definitely take him. I think he's going to be a stud. And Tennessee just produced who's that guy? The Trey Smith for the Chiefs as well, that right guard. And I think Cade Mays is better than him. So, and he looked good his rookie year for the Chiefs. So I'd take him in the fourth. And then Kennedy Brooks in the fifth. I think he's honestly a steal. Like he kind of reminds me of James White or like a real poor man's like Thurman Thomas. Like he's so good out of the backfield and he has pretty good shifty moves. And his like I watched him against UT earlier this year and he scored like the final touchdown in like a massive game and he has like sneaky speed. Like he broke off like a huge run at the end. And I think he would just be good. Like he's a good blocker. He's just a good football player, good blocker, good pass catcher, and very good vision.
yeah, that is probably the most important thing when you're drafting is you want a good football player.
Yeah.
Yeah, can throw all the character to the wind and you just want a guy who can ball.
I don't care if you're driving a Corvette 156 miles per hour in Vegas, plastered out of your mind. All right. If you can run routes, I'm taking you.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. Henry Ruggs really couldn't really run routes that well.
No.
But all right. So for mine, I want to preface with the fact that I think the ideal situation for the Jaguars would be to trade out of one.
Yeah.
And even if you can't get like, and you wouldn't be able to because there's no like quarterback who's worth trading up to one for. So if you can't get like the three first overalls, like RG3, Andrew Luck, or I guess Andrew Luck wasn't traded, but the RG3 is the,
Yeah.
getting up to one to take the quarterback. I still think it would be worth it. Like if you could take a team like the Jets, the Giants, or the Eagles, one of those teams that has multiple first rounders, if you said like, hey, give us the lowest pick first rounder you have and give us a second or a third rounder and you can jump up to one. I don't see why you wouldn't do that because I understand like on the fucking Mike Mayock trade value chart, like it wouldn't be there. But when you're looking at the players in this draft, I just think that there's a guy I would rather have in the middle of the first round and be able to take more people in the second or third.
Yeah. I think
like
you could totally do that. I don't think
I think you could too, but I just don't think that's like a realistic NFL move because I think there's just this stigma about number one where it's like, oh, you have to trade multiple ones and blah, blah, blah. And I don't see it happening. Like nobody's trading up to one to get Kayvon Thibodeau or whatever.
But if you think about it, the Texans traded, and I know this was with Bill O'Brien, but they traded how many picks for Laramie Tunzel? Like 3, like first round picks.
something like that. It
Like
was crazy.
imagine you could give that up for Evan Neal, but you don't know he's going to be an NFL tackle like they
Yeah.
knew.
I don't see it happening this year, and that's why like I would totally love to do a draft and trade out of it, but I don't think that would happen. So I stayed at 1, and in this draft, I took Evan Neal, number 1, because I think the most important thing in this draft for the Jags is obviously helping out Trevor Lawrence. And
Yeah.
I think Evan Neal, you can solidify like a side of your line for like 10 years and just not worry about it. Like, why wouldn't
Yeah.
you do that? So take him. And then, like, if I were to trade down and I was in the middle, I think it'd be cool to get like a Jamison Williams or something with the first pick. But being at 1, I think you got to take the safest option. I'll go on record. I don't think either of the 2 edge guys, Hutchinson or Thibodeau, I don't think they have like Bosa or Myles Garrett ceiling. So I can't justify taking those guys that high.
Yeah.
And like Stingley and Hamilton, I'm sure they'll both be like all pro caliber players, but the Jags just don't like, there are other needs that outweigh that more. So I don't think you can do that.
Yeah.
So first pick of the second round, I took Johann Dotson, the wide receiver out of Penn State. That's a guy who I definitely don't think will be there. But there's a lot of wide receivers who could go like late 1, early 2. And I think it's going to just kind of be like a team preference kind of deal.
Yeah.
I mean, you got like Jalen Reagor going over Justin Jefferson. So anything.
I really like Johann Dotson. Like he's a monster.
Yeah.
He could easily get taken first round, like you're saying, but he might. This year is weird where a lot of guys are going to slip into the second round that you think will be first.
Yeah. My first choice for a wide receiver would be Jamison Williams, but I think if you can get Dotson, that would also be a win.
Yeah.
And then just keeping going with the helping out Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Weidermeyer. I believe he's out of Texas A&M. He's like 6'5" tight end. I don't honestly even know if he's good or not, but like
I've watched a lot of Texas A&M games, and he's fucking good. I think he might be the best tight end in the draft. Like just from guys that I've seen play, when you watch Texas A&M, like you hear his name called a lot, and he gets a lot of like crucial first downs, and he looks pretty athletic and has good hands.
But see, that's all I need. Like I just need a tight end who can run and who can catch balls from Trevor Lawrence. Like, that's all I want out of a dude. And the Jags like never, ever, ever seem to have a good tight end. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I really like Weidermeyer.
Yeah. So after that, I got him taking edge Nick Bonito out of Oklahoma. And I think he's like not necessarily edge. That's just what they have him labeled as. I think he'd be like a 3-4 outside linebacker. And I just think the Jags were best when they were Saxonville and they just had like a bunch of dudes that they could rotate.
Yeah.
So I think getting another guy who doesn't have to be out there all the time, but you can toss him in and get some pressure would be nice.
Who do they got? Like, who do they rush the passer with the most? Like Josh Allen gets in there.
Josh Allen and DeJuan Smoot.
Like this guy could spell the Smootmeister a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But it just sucks, like going back looking at the Jags, because like obviously Kayvon Chason should be the guy opposite Josh Allen, but he just sucks. He's not good at all, so he doesn't start.
And they had fucking Yannick, and Yannick is so good.
Yeah. Kayvon Chason is another guy who I think was taken over Justin Jefferson.
Oh,
yeah, it's a real stinker, I know. But yeah. Next,
you never liked him, I don't think. I think Kayvon. Didn't you say before the draft you didn't want him?
I don't know if I said it before the draft, but I definitely said it after, because he's just small, and he's like, if you're small and a linebacker, you have to be like super fast. Yeah. And he's not. He's just like regular fast. Yeah. But it's just his attitude, because he has like the thigh pads with, it says like sack guru or something on it, and I think he has like 3 career NFL sacks or something. So it's just, I don't like Kayvon Chason. Not a good look. He was just a big benefactor off of being on like the best college football team of all time.
Yep.
So yeah, but get Nick Benito in there. First pick of the 4th round, I have Josh Jobe, cornerback out of Alabama. I think you can't really take an outside guy because they have Shaq and Tyson Campbell, who kind of has to stay there now.
Yeah.
So I think any guy who you can get to just either be a backup or be the nickel would be good. And I think you can't really go wrong like taking a guy from Alabama, because like at worst he's going to be like average, which is
Yeah.
good. And then last pick, I have Thayer Munford, and I'm gonna have to look up where he's from real quick.
Munford, is he from Georgia or Ohio State or no?
Yes, Ohio State. He's 6'6", 320. So at this point in the draft, like I kind of said with Alabama, like if you take a guy from Alabama, Ohio State, you know, just giant big name schools like that, chances are they're going to be average, which if you're drafted in the 5th round, like, and you can get a guy who can be a good backup or like possibly start later, that's good.
Yeah.
So Thayer Munford in the 5th round, take him, just be a big body on the line in case,
and Sons.
Yeah. In case Andrew Norwell doesn't come back or gets injured or something, you pop that guy in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so these will all obviously change. Probably look completely different in 2 months, but the draft is, I know, one of my favorite parts of the NFL season because it, no matter how bad it is, the draft is always like a nice sign of hope that things could get better.
It's like Christmas, dude. And especially if your team hits on a couple picks, nothing feels better.
Yeah. Like one of my just favorite life memories of all time is when pre-draft in the Jaylen Ramsey draft, I said, hey, I think it'd be really cool if they could get Jaylen Ramsey and Miles Jack.
Yeah.
And it's like, no way. They're both like top 10 picks, not a chance. And then the Cowboys are up at 5, I think. It was either 4 or 5. And Jerry Jones, rumor was he wanted Jaylen. Like he wanted the next Dion.
Oh, yeah.
But then they took fucking Zeke, and I shit my pants. The Jags immediately took Jaylen, and then somebody lied about Miles Jack having a knee issue, and he slipped to the 2nd round, and they snagged him.
Yeah,
they also drafted.
I thought he was going to be a 1st-round pick for sure. I remember you were saying that exact thing, and I'm pretty sure you said someone else in that draft too, maybe Telvin Smith or somebody.
I don't know if I was high on Telvin. I don't even know if that was the Telvin draft. I think Telvin was before that, but I think that was the year Yannick got drafted.
Damn, that was a good draft.
Imagine that: Jaylen, Miles Jack, and Yannick Ngakoue, same draft.
Yeah, I mean, even if they had kept Yannick till now, they would have a super good pass rush. Yeah,
I like Yannick a lot. I think he's like probably the best strip sacker in the NFL.
Yeah, definitely one of them.
But yeah, so I guess that's it for this week. Find us on YouTube where you found us. Find us on Instagram at Pro Football Focus, and find us on Twitter at Pro Football Focus with 1L.